Om Namo Gurudev Namo. So lovely, I haven't talked about it in a while, so we'll talk about it really quick, right? But to honor this incredible life that we all get to be a part of. Life's hard. I mean, suffering's a part of life. There's challenging things that happen. That's undeniable. That's very real. But like, this is pretty epic. This is a really, really cool. The fact that we exist, like the fact that however human beings came into form, we don't even have to figure it out. Just the fact that we exist is a miracle. It's absolutely incredible that we've come into form, and it's absolutely incredible that this world exists and all of this life that's all around us. And so Om Namo is just bowing to that, like, wow, how cool is that, that we get to be a part of all that. Gurudev Namo is just kind of honoring and bowing to the circumstances, the teachers, the people, the guides, all the different aspects of our life that have moved us from the darkness into the light. And just really honoring all those things, including our challenging experiences in our life, which are probably the biggest teachers that we have. So it's really nice to kind of tune in with the energy, even though it's always about the sound frequency with mantra. That's the most important thing. It's nice to have the intention behind like that sound frequency. So we'll do Adi mantra 3 times together. We'll move into the Mangala Sharin mantra probably about 4 or 5 times together with the harmonium. Calling into the directions, really, Ad Gure Name, Jugad Gure Name, Sat Gure Name, Siddhi Guru Deve Name. And don't worry about messing any of that stuff up, just have fun with it. And I would encourage you to use your voice loud enough to hear yourself. I think it's a pivotal practice in our life to find our voice in whatever way that we find it, whether it's being able to speak our truth to ourselves, be able to speak our truth in our relationships, be able to set healthy boundaries, be able to sing. I love singing. I'm not a very good singer, but I really love it, right? And I don't want to you don't want to let things like that get in the way of being able to do things that you love, So really finding our voice is quite lovely. So let's rub the palms together, generate a little bit of heat. And we're going to bring the thumbs into the sternum, a little bit of pressure there against the sternum, activate the vagus nerve as we take a nice deep full breath in. Exhale, full breath out. Inhale, deep breath in. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Nice deep full breath in. And a nice full exhale out. Just a few natural breaths invited deep into the belly. Inviting your belly to soften, to let go of any tension it may be holding without forcing that. It's just an invitation. A lot of the times we carry quite a bit of tension in the belly, so just creating that invitation now in this moment and throughout the course of class, that any resistance we're carrying in the belly and in the body, that we can let it go. Resistance in the body is created frequently through resistance in the mind. Right? And so when we resist circumstances in our life, events in our life, things that are happening in our life, because they generate things like fear, anger, and things like that, we resist it, and we create tension in the body. And then we wind up programming the cellular structure of the body with that energy, which is quite odd. And that's something that sounds a little wild, but it's a very well-known thing now, especially in things like trauma treatment. We now know very clearly that trauma is stored in the body. And the yogis thousands of years ago would do certain things. Like a lot of the Kundalini yoga is designed to create tension, pressure, stress, and friction in the body with a certain energy field to program the cellular structure, right? And this is the same thing that happens in trauma, right? Something happens, you squeeze and you tense up, and then you program that into the cellular structure in the body. Massage therapists know this too. They'll be giving a massage and then something will just release in someone, And so it's nice to move through our body whenever we're doing meditation or yoga and look for the areas that we're holding. And let go. And it translates into our life how much energy we waste holding something very tightly and not letting go. Whether that's through suppression or through trying to control, right? Or some combination of those two things. I love being able to control things. And unfortunately, it doesn't work very well in so many aspects of life outside of my little world. I love having everything in its place at home. It's like, oh, it's so nice, right? Like our little environments, like I love my tea table. I love my harmonium sits right there. I love that, right? Because there's so little else in the world I can do anything about, but it's like these are the areas, and that's why it's like it's really nice to look. I was a messy person in my younger years, and starting to become a cleaner, more organized person was really a gift to myself. It's like you have so little control over the world, and there's the very few things you can control, and one of them is your life and your shit and your stuff, right? And it can bring so much solace to just like, oh, okay, like I can have this here and I can have that there. And then when the mug falls off the shelf and breaks, you could just smile and laugh and let it go, right? Because we can't, at the end of the day, even the things that we try to control in our immediate surroundings will always, have outside forces that act upon it that we have to work with. We're going to work with I've been doing Jai Dev's Prosperity 40-day challenge. So he's been working with these two meditations and a warm up. So that's what our class is going to be today. We're going to work with these two meditations that I've been doing every day. Everything's plagiarism. I just make sure I tell you where I'm plagiarizing from, but we're all plagiarizing. A couple weeks ago, I had ChatGPT make me a Kriya, and it was fantastic. I got to tell you, it was like, wow, this is a really good Kriya. Like, forget Yogi Bhajan, that's out the window. We got ChatGPT now. It's like, what do you got me do? It had me, and it was interesting because it even knew why I was doing certain things. I had asked it, well, why do you want us to do that? And it would explain. It had the whole Kriya Shastra that's been written down in its memory. It's like, wow, this is really good. Because a lot of things, if you're newer to Kundalini Yoga, are acupuncture, right? So we're doing certain things to work in the energy systems and align meridian pathways, and then we're working with pranayama to clean, right, and work stuff out of the body. So there is a reason why we're doing all the different things. Some of them I'm very well versed in. Some of them are still new to me. Like I'm still figuring it out a lot through my own just practice and realizing, oh wow, that just like unlocked that thing, right? But a lot of this prosperity meditation that we're going to work with, the first one's going to be a very cleansing. It's going to be about cleaning out through the auric field and the nucleus up here, which is where we store a lot of our obviously our mind creates a lot of our belief systems, right? And so the nucleus of our aura tends to sit kind of up in this area, and so a lot of our belief systems are stored up here. So we like to clean out the belief systems so that we can have a good the third eye is our lens of reality, right? So we want to clean all that stuff up so we got a good clean lens to view the world through. I was trying to take a video yesterday on my phone, and someone pointed out that my camera lens was dirty, and I was like, oh. And I cleaned it, and I was like, oh, look at that. That looks so much better. I wouldn't even realized. And how often do we not realize the lens of our life is dirty? It's all like, holy shit, I woke up so cranky this morning, And it's like, it's easy to be like, to not realize, oh, your lens is dirty, that's it. Like these things that you're cranky about, they're not real. Like none of that's actually a problem or potentially not even happening. The only real problem here is the lens is dirty. You just got to, so I sat down, did my morning practice, and I feel better now. We'll do another Kriya together, and I'm sure I'll feel great after that. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to have some fun with it. We're going to see where this little warm up, we're going to do a little warm up, and then we're going to come into the two meditations. I'll be a little bit longer than our normal meditative period, but I think it'll be nice for us. So let's bring the hands down to the knees or onto the shins. And we're just going to start with some spinal flexes. So pulling the heart forward as we inhale through the nose, exhaling, dropping the heart back. And we're going to try to find a rhythmic motion here, breathing forward, exhaling back. You can have some movement in the head, but be careful. The head, I try to keep my head mostly level, and you can get a little bit of forward and back with the chin. You just want to make sure you're taking care of your neck. As long as everything feels good there, you can get that involved as much as you like. And try to find the rhythm. A lot of the times when we first start out, we got to work all the kinks in the body out. And so we're working some of those kinks out, and eventually we'll drop into rhythm. Intentional about the pranayama, intentional about the breath. So nice full inhales, nice full exhales. The eyes are welcome to close, and we invite them up to the third eye point, that third eye drishti. We're going to match our breath with our movement to create rhythm, to create flow, and to drop ourselves deeper into that control panel for our physiology, deeper into those aspects where we can regulate our nervous system, bring our hemispheres of our brain into alignment. Through breath and movement, we can start to exert forces upon our own automatic physiology, the autonomic nervous system. We can start to affect things like our heart rate, affect things like whether or not our sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous systems are in balance and talking to each other in a healthy way. Let go of that orange alert, that state of perpetual doom that a lot of us walk around with, where we're scanning our environment for danger constantly. It's a response to chronic stress and trauma. We can start to release that through breath and movement. You start to move a little quicker if you like. If you're feeling good in the body, it feels nice to move a little bit quicker, you can. If the pace you're moving at feels really nice for you, keep it there, and maybe bring the arms out, the hands out to the knees now. When the hands come out to the knees, we can get the movement a little bit more from the thoracic spine, the middle back. So as my heart comes forward, my shoulder blades can roll back a little. As my heart comes back, shoulder blades can come a bit more forward and start to open up through that heart center. And find your dance, find your rhythm. You are the master of your body, of your mind, and your emotional state, of your energy system. When these things become the master of you, it leads to a lot of trouble in our lives. And so we want to reclaim that role as the leader of this body, the leader of this mind, the leader of these emotions, of this nervous system. They're beautiful gifts. Deep breath into center now. Let's sit up nice and tall. Lift Mula Bandha. That pelvic floor lift, a Kegel muscle pull. Stretch up to the crown of the head. Hold the breath. Eyes at the third eye. And release. Just a few moments of meditation. And just like we rock a baby to calm a baby down, we're learning how to rock our body, to breathe and to rock and to move in rhythm. Let's bring the hands up to the shoulders. Fingers in front, thumbs behind. If you have any shoulder injuries, you could make adjustments. Mine is always a little bit odd for me because my left shoulder has trouble getting back all the way. 90-degree angle between upper arm and torso. Heart a little forward, shoulder blades a little back. The eyes will come closed. They'll roll up to that third eye point, gently tilted up towards the brow line. The inhale will be to the twist to the left. The exhale, twist to the right. Inhaling left, exhaling right. And intentionality in the breath. It should be loud enough to hear yourself, that little sniffing sound. We'll always find out quickly if we need a tissue. There's always some on the back table if anyone needs one. It's your metronome, right? The heart center is our metronome. The heart center sets the pace for our life, right? It sets the rhythm, the heartbeat. right? The metronome of this movement. And so check in with the body. Say, how does this feel? Does the pace that I'm moving at feel good? Maybe I want to go a little slower. Maybe I want to go a little faster today. What do I want my pace to be? What feels right? Set it for yourself. A few more moments, about 20 seconds. You're doing great. Twisting out that, creating some flexion in the spine. Twisting out the emotional body. Most of our emotional center is located in the torso, as well as the sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. And so we're twisting out the glands and the organs that secrete peptides and hormones that create our emotional experience and change our blood chemistry. Twist them out, give them a little massage, clean up the emotional body, and let go of anything that's no longer serving you. Nice deep breath into center now. Good lift on Mula Bandha. Stretch up to the crown, eyes at the third eye. Lift. And release. Lowering the hands, a few moments of meditation. See if you could start to notice the subtle shift in your frequency. And we'll bring the left hand down onto the mat. We'll take a nice deep inhale as we bring the right hand up, stretching up over the head. Exhale, lower it down. We're going to move really slow here, side to side, inhaling the arm up. And take your time, move at a pace that feels good for you. You can hang here as long as feels good with the breath, exhaling back down. Going from side to side, finding your movement. Opening up to the side body. Let's do one more on each side, whatever we need to feel complete and balanced in this movement. When you feel done, come back to center. We'll take a nice deep inhale in. Lifting up. And release. Coming into tabletop. Hips will be over the knees. I like to start with my fingertips, spread them nice and wide, and roll the fingers down onto the palms. Get a good spread, good foundation with the hands. Could be on the tops of the feet or toes tucked. It doesn't make a big difference, whatever feels comfortable for you. We'll inhale into a cow posture, dropping the belly, head and sacrum up. Exhale into a cat, heart up, sacrum head down, and beginning a flow there. Inhaling cow, exhaling cat. Find your rhythm, find your flow. A lot of times when we talk about prosperity or abundance, we go right to money and career, and I think it's really important to realize abundance and prosperity is through all the aspects of our life, right? Our mental health, our spiritual health, our emotional health, our relationships. Prosperity within our relationships. Prosperity within how we contribute and give back to our community. If you'd like to move a little bit quicker now, you're welcome to. If the pace you're moving at feels really good in your body, stay there. And we'll take a nice deep breath in now, dropping the belly, head up, sacrum up. Little lift on Mula Bandha, stretch up through the crown. Exhale, cat. Coming back to seat. We'll come flat on the ground off our cushions for some Sufi circles. It's kind of nice to do this a little bit further into the warm-up. You have the option here, right? You can do the Sufi circles, which are the more circular movement, or you can do the swizzle, the Sufi grinds, which is more movement through the torso where the lower and upper bodies stay put. So move in the way that feels good for you. I almost like to combine the two sometimes. The inhale is invited to be across the front of the circle, the exhale across the back, the invitation for the breath to come all the way down into the belly. Doesn't necessarily have to be completely full, but we definitely want it to go deep into the lungs. Find your dance. How do you want to dance through life today? Let's switch directions now. Start to come the other way. Inviting ourselves out of the mind, into the breath, into the body. Always with that invitation to bring the slightest smile onto the mouth. Welcoming whatever in our experience arises. No need to push it away, no need to grab onto it, just watching it pass through. Thoughts, emotions, sensations, thoughts, emotions, sensations, come and go. Deep breath into center. And release. If you like to be on your cushion, you're always welcome to come back. And some shoulder rolls. And so as I inhale, I'm going to bring the shoulders forward. They're going to come up on the inhale. Exhale, they'll come back and down. Inhale forward and up. Exhale back and down. If you'd like to do them a little faster, you have the invitation to do them a little faster. Slow feels good, go with that. Chin should be slightly down, slightly in, that Jalandhar Bandha, just to protect the neck muscle. So we open up through the shoulders, let go of some of that weight that we carry. Some of the weight of the world that sits right there on the shoulders, releasing it. And switch direction. Exhale or inhale fully. Exhale right into some neck rolls. Long, slow, deep, full breaths. If you have any injuries in the neck, any discomfort in the neck, you're always welcome to do just the front half of the circle. Coming the other direction. Nice inhale to center. Gentle lift on Willabon. Stretch up. Slight smile. And release. Just taking a few moments to internally let yourself know that you love yourself. I love you. You're doing such a good job. I'm so proud of you. I love you. You're doing such a good job. I'm so proud of you. Just a few moments of meditation. Beautiful. Invited to open the eyes. We're going to be doing a seated meditation for a little bit, so maybe I'll just talk for a few minutes about prosperity, and if you'd like to stretch out through your lower body as I do that, that might be nice. Kind of open up to the hamstrings a little bit. Any little stretches that feel good. If you want to stand up, do a forward fold, you're welcome to do that. So opening up to the lower body. So we're going to work with these little meditations on prosperity. And again, the first one's going to be about cleaning. We have this arc line, right, in this nucleus of our auric field. A lot of what keeps us from having, I saw this really funny meme that said, it was like your classic, like, wealthy California woman kind of walking, and it says, is it really manifestation or is it just white privilege? And I thought that was funny. Not that I'm a big privilege conversation guy, but I thought it was a funny meme, right? Because it's easy to sit and say, like, what is manifestation? What is abundance? What is prosperity, right? How do we access these types of things, right? It's easy to say, oh, you limit yourself with your mind, or you're attracting that into your life. And that doesn't really do justice to how damn hard it is sometimes to, like, just be in the world, right? And make money and take care of our families and, like, take care of ourselves and be in the world in a good way. It doesn't do justice to how challenging that is. As if we could just magically decide one day, I'm going to be prosperous, and it happens. You know, that'd be amazing if you could just think it and it would be that, right? And the reason why it's so challenging is there's truth to the statement, but there's a lot of paradox in the statement too. And the paradox is, like, we have to really train ourselves to think that way. Like, it takes a daily training to believe, like, a better belief is, I'm safe and I have what I need. I'm safe and I have what I need, right? I think one of the things in early recovery that they told me to do was make a gratitude list before you go to bed every night. Like, every night before you go to bed, write down 3 things you're grateful for. B was sending his out for a while. I had some epic gratitude lists, right? It's such a beautiful practice to be able to share with others and with ourselves what we're grateful for. And those are the types of things that brings prosperity mindset. The best thing you can do for a prosperity mindset is write a gratitude list before you go to bed every night and realize how much you actually have. Because when we feel safe and we feel like we're taken care of, I remember in early recovery, I frequently had like $7. Like for some reason, my bank account always just landed at $7. And I was like, oh my God, we're at $7 again. And my sponsor back then would always say to me, have you ever not been taken care of? Have you never not had what you need? And I'm like, no. I've always had food to eat. I've always had like a place that I could stay, right? It always worked itself out. Not always easy. Doesn't mean that there wasn't struggle. It doesn't mean I wasn't eating ramen noodles sometimes, but there was always taken care of, right? And so as we start to work, a lot of these things, when we're talking about this meditation where we're going to, right, we're cleaning, we're somatically moving in a way where we're cleansing out belief systems. I don't have enough. I don't have what it takes, right? I'm not lovable. I'm not good enough, right? Like a lot of these belief systems that we create that kind of sit up in the nucleus of our auric field from past experiences and traumas and things that have happened to us, right? Because real things happen. It's not like those belief systems came from nowhere. Those belief systems came from experiences that we had, whether they were things that we were told as a child or, I grew up, my family didn't have a lot when we were little kids. We had enough in the neighborhood, like we were the same as everyone in the neighborhood, which is cool because you don't really know what you got when you're a kid. But like my parents had to work really hard to get themselves to a place where we were stable, and so that we don't want to demean those challenges that we went through, and that it's not hard, but we also want to clean out these beliefs that keep us stuck and keep us limited. So we're going to work with this meditation. The first one, and have a cannon breath, which is the O-shaped mouth. And the breath comes from like the belly and the chest, right? Get the movement right. Palms are lined. Inhale through the nose. Yeah. Okay, so the inhale's up. And what happens is the hands are kind of out at the sides, right? They're kind of like outside the knees and above the knees. You can land them anywhere that feels good for you, right? As we inhale, they come up over the head. And they'll sit left hand on top of right every time. And then as we exhale, we'll bring them down. So you can come into this movement. Now you're invited to close the eyes, bring them to the third eye point. And based on your body, you may need to make some subtle adjustments to the movement. That's okay. Make the adjustments you need to make. We're going to be here for a while. This is one of the things that your mind's going to tell you you can't do. Unless you have a physical injury, it's very likely you can, right? It's like running. When you first start running, you feel like, oh God, this is terrible. And then eventually you kind of break into stride. It's going to be like that. So we're developing resiliency by moving through the resistance that the Kriya creates, that the meditation creates. We'll drop in together. Letting go of the belief system that it's not enough. Find your rhythm. Clean your heart space. Clean the mind. Connecting the head brain, the heart brain, and the gut brain with movement and breath. Powerful breath. We're going to get a lot of oxygen moving through the body. Clean out the carbon dioxide, alkalinize our system. If your body needs a break at some point, it's always okay to take a break. Just make sure it's your body that needs it and not your mind. You can continue the breath when you take breaks, and then come back into the movement when you feel ready. Always do what you can and feel good about that. doing such a good job. Move through the resistance that the Kriya creates. Prosperity comes through learning how to get comfortable being uncomfortable. Minute and a half to go. You're doing such a good job. Clean it out. Let it go. Whatever you're holding on to, let it go. Seconds. Great job. Finish strong. Working in that radiant body. Make yourself radiate. Deep breath in. Bring the hands together over the top of the head. Stretch up through the knuckles. Lift, Mulaban, lift up. Start to swivel through the pelvis a little bit. Stretch up and swivel. And release. Hold the posture. Deep breath in one more time. Lift up, stretch through the knuckles. Lift Mulaban. Some circles. And release. Lower the arms. Great job. A few moments of meditation. That's how you make yourself glow. Get the light in the eyes. Get the auric field nice and big and strong. We're so powerful when we can tap into that source energy. When we can get plugged in. The amount of power that can come through us is incredible. We all have it. Just remember, it doesn't arise from us, it comes through us. We're not alone in cultivating it. Second meditation. We're going to have the hands up around the heart center, somewhere between the solar plexus and the heart. We're going to be tapping the front, the top of the hands, the thumb side together, and then we flip over and we tap the pinky side. And we're going to go with the Har mantra. Har, 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 Har. And it's going to fall into this kind of really trippy little rhythm. And we'll be here for a while just in front of the heart. Har, 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 Har. Eyes will be closed. They'll come to the third eye point. H-A-R, but it's like a rolled R. And so if you have trouble rolling your R, like a D. Har, 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 Har. You want to get that top of the tongue right on the palate, right behind the teeth, right? Had. You have to do that to make a D sound or the rolled R. That's an important part of the neural stimulation in the mouth when we work with the mantra. Any questions about that? Cool. We'll do this one together. We'll be here for a bit as well. It's a little bit more manageable than the last one. It's an easier one to fall into the rhythm of the whole thing. All right, so finding our posture, wiggling around in our seat a little bit, closing the eyes, up to the third eye point, some natural breaths, and when they begin, we'll come in with them. Hut, 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 hut. Stimulating those pathways, those meridians for wisdom and abundance. Hut, 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 hut. Filling your cup. Hut, 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 hut. Fall into the rhythm of it. Fall into the flow. Align yourself with the unfolding of life. Hara, 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 hara. A minute and a half to go. Hara, 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 hara. Deep, full breath in. Bring the hands, palms face up like a cup in front of you, and see that cup full. See it overflow with the abundance of your life. Prosperity in all directions. You have so much to give. And as we move into Shavasana, if you'd like to take Shavasana in a seated meditation posture, you're always welcome to. Otherwise, we'll come down onto our backs nice and slow. We'll work with the gongs for a little bit. Welcome to bring your head towards the front of the room for that. Letting all the work that we did settle into every cell in the body. Giving yourself full permission to let go, to soften, to receive the benefits of your practice. What are you grateful for in your life? What makes you smile? What are the things that are most important to you? What do you want to create in this world? How do you want to be? Feeling the breath in the body. Feeling the weight of the body on the floor. And as we slowly return, inviting in any gentle movements that might feel good, maybe wiggling the fingers or the toes. Maybe rolling the wrists or the ankles if that feels good. Take your time. No need to feel rushed. Inviting in any gentle stretches that might feel nice. And then over the next minute or two, we'll find ourselves back into a seated posture. You got plenty of time to get there, so any postures, movements, stretches along the way that feel good in your body, feel free to take. We'll close class with the mantra Sat Nam. A long Sat and a short Nam. The infinite is my true identity. We'll do the mantra one time. Let's rub the palms together. Coming back to Anjali Mudra. Close down our sacred space. Nice deep full breath in. Full exhale out for the mantra Sat Nam. Deep breath in. Sat